In the history of aviation, there are few names that spark as much awe and admiration as the Airbus A380. The world's largest passenger aircraft, the A380 was not just a plane, it was a bold statement. A symbol of human engineering, global ambition, and the dream of connecting the world at a scale never seen before. But behind the grandeur lies a complex journey of massive investments, global cooperation, technical hurdles, corporate rivalry, and ultimately, market forces that shaped its fate. This is the story of how the Airbus A380 rose to dominate the skies and why its reign was cut short. Chapter 1. The dream is born. 5 minutes. In the late 1980s, Boeing's 747 ruled the long-haul skies. Airbus, a relatively younger company, saw an opportunity. They believed air traffic would continue to grow rapidly, especially in major international hubs. To meet this demand, Airbus proposed something radical, a double-decker aircraft capable of carrying over 800 passengers. This wasn't just about size, it was about revolutionizing global air travel. By moving more people per flight, airlines could lower costs, reduce congestion, and increase profits. At least, that was the idea. By the early 1990s, Airbus committed to the project. It would take over a decade and billions of dollars, but the dream was alive. Chapter 2. Engineering the impossible. 7 minutes. Designing the A380 was unlike any previous aircraft. It required a completely new approach. The plane would be over 72 meters long and 24 meters high. Its wingspan? Nearly 80 meters. It would have 2 full-length decks, 4 powerful engines, and a range of over 8,000 nautical miles. Airbus used cutting-edge materials like carbon fiber composites to reduce weight. The cockpit featured the latest in fly-by-wire technology. But the sheer size introduced problems, especially in logistics. Parts were manufactured across Europe and had to be transported to France for final assembly. Roads had to be widened. Bridges reinforced. The complexity was staggering. Chapter 3. The first flight. On April 27, 2005, the world held its breath. The first Airbus A380 lifted off from Toulouse, France. Smooth. Powerful. Graceful, the flight was a success. Engineers, aviation fans, and airline executives watched history unfold. The Superjumbo had taken flight, testing continued for months, proving the aircraft's safety, reliability, and performance under extreme conditions. The world was ready, and so was Airbus. Chapter 4. Entering service. 6 minutes. In 2007, Singapore Airlines became the first carrier to operate the A380 commercially. It was a game-changer. Passengers were stunned by the comfort, private suites, lounges, showers in first class, and wider seats throughout. For the first time, flying felt luxurious again. Other airlines followed: Emirates, Qantas, Lufthansa, British Airways. The A380 became the crown jewel of long-haul fleets. Airbus had delivered a masterpiece. Or so it seemed. Chapter 5. Cracks in the sky. Despite the hype, problems started to appear. The A380 was expensive to build and operate. Not all airports could accommodate its size. Boarding over 800 passengers took time and required major terminal upgrades. Worse, the market had shifted. Airlines began favoring smaller, twin-engine jets like the Boeing 787 and Airbus A350. These planes were cheaper to run, more flexible, and could fly point-to-point, skipping the congested hub model the A380 was built for, and orders began to slow. Chapter 6. The fall begins. By the mid-2010s, it was clear the A380 wasn't selling as expected. Emirates remained the only true believer, accounting for over half of all A380 orders, but Airbus couldn't justify production based on a single customer. In 2019, they announced the unthinkable: A380 production would end by 2021. The final aircraft was delivered in December 2021. Just 251 A380s were built, far fewer than Airbus had hoped. Chapter 7. COVID-19 and grounded dreams. Then came COVID-19, with global travel collapsing in 2020, airlines grounded their A380s. Many retired them entirely. Some ended up in scrapyards, stripped for parts. Others sat in deserts, collecting dust. The very thing that made the A380 special, its size, had become its curse. Chapter 8. Signs of a comeback. Yet, as travel rebounded in 2022 and 2023, some airlines brought back the A380. Passengers still loved the space and comfort. And for high-demand routes, it remained unmatched in capacity. Emirates, British Airways, Singapore Airlines, they brought their A380s back to the skies. Not as many. Not as frequently. But still flying, could the Superjumbo be making a modest comeback? The Airbus A380 may not have changed aviation economics, but it changed how we experience flying. It proved that the sky wasn't the limit for innovation. It brought comfort back to long-haul travel. It inspired engineers, designers, and dreamers worldwide. Even Boeing admitted, the A380 raised the bar. Its engineering advancements paved the way for future aircraft, especially in materials and safety systems. For pilots, the A380 is a joy to fly. For passengers, a thrill to experience. For children spotting planes at airports. It was magic. Behind every flight were thousands of hours of training, coordination, and care. From the flight deck to the cabin crew, the A380 created bonds. Many say flying it was a privilege, one they'll never forget. The Airbus A380 was bold. Audacious. A risk that many said wouldn't pay off, and yet, it flew. Though its production has ended, its impact lives on. In every long-haul innovation. In every spacious cabin. In every child who gazes up at the sky and dreams, which plane amazed you the most? Comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more history that flies.